Hey everyone, my name's Indiana, and I do a little mountain bike shoe gear review for you. A little bit of background on myself. Never really a competitive cycler. Lived in Colorado for 10 years. Did a lot of single track, things of that nature, commuting to and from work, just out having fun. Last year I actually competed in the Leadman series. So I was able to do a couple of my first bike races ever, one of them being their 50-mile Silver Rush, and the other one being the 100-mile mountain bike race towards the end of the series. And before that, I had really only owned one pair of shoes, which was a hand-me-down pair of shoes, a pair of Pearl Azumis a friend sold me for $20, and they did a great job. But I figured it was time to get some new shoes. So I'll talk about what I ended up getting. So for the races, I actually use this Shimano shoe. It is the model MT-34B. Pretty good bike shoe. Has the classic lace system. Nice feature, it has a nice expandable thing here on the tongue where you can actually tuck in the laces so they stay out of your chain ring up front. Pretty comfortable shoe to wear. Shimano actually lists this as a non-competitive shoe, so if you're looking for something to do some touring, maybe some light mountain biking, this is a good shoe for you. Has a decent amount of flex to it, which is great when you're walking around. Maybe you're heading to the grocery store to pick up some groceries, and this will be great for you. Another nice thing, when I did order these, it did come with the cleats, the SPD cleats, which was nice. I have about 2,500 miles on these so far, and the tread's holding up really well. No slipping when I'm hiking. They are comfortable. Another good feature about these, if you have wide shoes, they have a pretty wide toe box, comparatively speaking to, say, this Specialized shoe on the right. As far as weight, they're pretty light. Got the actual, put them on a digital scale to see just how accurate some of the websites were. So this one actually weighed in at 437 grams, and this is a size 46, which on Shimano's website they list as an 11.2. And in a normal shoe, skate shoe or running shoe, just casual shoe even, I'm anywhere usually at 10.5 to 11, fits pretty well. So these did have a little bit extra room in them in the toe box and on the sides, but when I'm pedaling, I never really noticed that. I just thought there's a little extra room to breathe. It's also kind of nice to have a little extra room for cold layers. If you're out riding in the cold, you have to maybe put on 2 layers of socks, or during something like the Tour Divide, which I'm training for, you may have some issues with foot swelling. So it's always, I think, nicer to have a little bit of extra room versus a really tight form-fitting shoe. These have a glass fiber polyamide plate, which I don't think is stiff as, say, maybe a nylon or carbon fiber plate. If I had to rate these on a scale of 10, I would say maybe a 4 on the stiffness. Other than that, I think the MSRP is $100 on these, so these are your lower end style mountain bike shoes. I picked them up on Amazon about 6 months ago for $78, and when I was just doing some research before I came out here, I saw them as low as $50. So if you're looking for a nice non-competitive touring or grocery getting shoe, this will do really well. Breathability is nice, durability is good. I haven't had any issues with peeling of the sole or anything like that. Okay, so as I was mentioning, the Tour Divide race, I'm training for that, and that's a pretty long race. That's a 2,800 mile race, starts in Banff, Canada, goes to Antelope Wells, New Mexico. So I was actually looking for something that doesn't have the traditional lace system. One of the reasons being, when you're out there riding, even with front suspension, you're doing a lot of mountain bike riding day in, day out. You might be on your bike 16, 18 hours a day. You're going to get a lot of hand vibrations through your handlebars, a lot of vibrations that you're going to absorb. So especially with me, I'm going to be riding a carbon fiber front fork so a completely rigid bike. So I wanted something that if I wake up in the morning and say it's cold outside, or I've been on the trail for 10 days and maybe I've lost a little bit of dexterity in my fingers, something that's a little bit easier to lace up. So on the Tour Divide Facebook page, somebody actually posted this question of what shoes would people recommend, and there's a lot of great answers on there. I noticed a few people recommended this next shoe that I have, and this is the Specialized Rime Expert model. So this is size 45 on the Specialized site, which they list as an 11.7 in US shoe sizes. First impression of this shoe is it's heavy. I put this thing on the scale and it's 505 grams, and that's quite a bit. It might not seem like a lot versus the 437 grams on the Shimano, but that's almost 150 grams for the pair, and when you're pedaling 2,800 miles, every pedal stroke, every gram, it's going to add up pretty quick. They're also supposed to be very durable. Maybe that's why they're so heavy, is because they're made very well. But with that being said, as the sizing of 11.7, I can barely get my foot in here. It was really tight, and you know, the toe box is pretty small. These are pretty narrow shoes, and I think the sizing on Specialized shoes are just off a little bit. We can go into that a little bit more later. But some of the features, it does have the double Velcro in the front, which I think would be really nice if you're waking up and you're not firing on all cylinders and you just need to get your shoes on and back out on the trail. This BOA system, I believe, is called the S2. It actually doesn't have that pop feature, which most BOAs have. It's just a micro adjustment in and out, and then it also slips around here. So if you're up in the morning and loosen everything up, all you're really worried about to get your nice fit is looping that around there and tighten it the right way. Other thing about the Tour Divide is you're probably going to be hiking your bike a lot, so it's another thing that people noted that they liked about this was the Vibram outsole is supposed to be fairly durable and pretty good traction on it. Another thing I noticed when I first picked these up versus those Shimanos is the stiffness of these. And, you know, of course, those are broken in. They've got about 2,500 miles, and these have 0 on them, so take that into consideration. These are listed as on Specialized website, a stiffness of 7 out of 11. Yes, they go up to 11 because they're Specialized. Anyways, it does have the body geometry sole, which has something to do with angling your foot in. It's supposed to relieve tension off your knees or something like that. But unfortunately, these were too small for me to be able to use. Retail on these is $180. I picked them up for $134 on Eric's Bike Shop. So that was a good deal. Unfortunately, Eric's Bike Shop, they're coming back to you because they're just not going to fit. With these ones, the Rime Expert I was just talking about, they have a nylon composite plate, so a little bit different than the Shimanos, which have a glass fiber polyamide plate. And another thing about the Specialized, they do not come with SBD cleats. They're only about $12 online, so not a deal breaker. Did a little bit more research into Specialized lineup, and I found a 2016 model. This is called their Expert cross-country mountain bike shoe. Get a little look at those, and they look fairly narrow. I ended up buying a size 46 on these, which Specialized lists as 12.25, which I was scared to do, but after buying the size 45 and having them be too small, I figured these might fit just right. And they do fit really good. They have enough room that if I'm wearing What I tried them on was with a medium weight icebreaker merino wool sock, and I could definitely put 2 layers of those on, and I think would be fine. And these haven't even been broken in yet, so I was pretty happy about that. Also very, very lightweight, 413 grams. So you're looking at almost 200 grams of saving over what I was originally going to go with. So when I tried these on, one of the things I noticed was this is actually not really holding too much together. I think it's more or less just to keep this flap from getting in the way or getting injured. So this really didn't, it was just pretty form-fitting there. Classic boa here, this is their IP1, so to release that, if you're at the end of the day you need to take it off, you can just pop it out, pull it, and like the other one, it has these loops that you can just kind of lace it through. And the reason that it goes through like that would be if in the event of your closure system fails or the lacing system fails, you can buy a replacement. Now they have to be either the left or the right, depending on which shoe if you had a failure on. But I did look into the video, and it's a little bit harder to replace the BOA system on this one versus this one. This one, you stick a screwdriver in there, the thing pops off, it's preloaded with the lacing, put it back on, which would have been pretty nice. This one, you stick your hex wrench in the, or Allen wrench in the center there. This cartridge comes off, you have a new cartridge, and you have to cut the lacing system, or the lace, to the same size as what you have on there already. So I think before I leave for the Tour Divide, if these are the shoes that I end up keeping, I will take that off, get the lace pre-measured, and carry a couple cartridges for me, or on me while I'm racing, just for peace of mind. But pretty nice micro adjustments there. That loosens it ever so slightly, that tightens it. They feel really well made. It looks like they have some good venting here in the toe box area, as well as the side here. I'm not sure if you can see the tongue there, but that's also vented as well. So I'm hoping when I talk to my training partner and friend, the great Michael Kinney, who's raced the Tour Divide before, he will approve. Traction looks pretty good. They do have removable cleats on them. And stiffness meter, these are 10 out of 11. So I'm getting no flex out of there. But when I put them on, they're really comfortable. So I'm hoping these work. Anyways, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask me, and hopefully I can lend you some advice on your shoe buying purchases. Great. Thank you very much for watching, and y'all have a great day.